Hello everyone, and welcome to my Iconic Goodbyes channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, March 19th, Traci wary, Nick's future, and Chelsea's passion. Sharon Newman will await a response from Nick Newman. In addition, Chelsea Lawson may have feelings of passion. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, March 19th, 2025 are available. Traci Abbott will likely be apprehensive in today's episode. Traci Abbott wary fans should expect Traci to consider Alan Lauren/Martin Lauren's suggestion. Traci adores Alan and hopes to marry him someday. However, when the clinic security alert continued going off, the psychiatrist claimed he had been hacked. Alan appeared to think it would be interesting and fascinating to have his identity taken, which was a red flag. While Alan swiftly covered, Traci was able to revisit the alert and hacker excuse. Traci is expected to meet up with Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott. The bride-to-be will open out to them and seek assistance. Of course, Diane and Jack believe Alan is fantastic. So they might brush it off and encourage Traci to start arranging her wedding. Alan offered the idea of going to Paris. Traci's safety appears to be jeopardized if she leaves the nation. If she continues to ask too many questions, Alan may eliminate the threat, which we definitely do not want. Nick Newman's response. The Young and the Restless spoilers for tomorrow indicate that Nick Newman will respond to Sharon's query. She had asked whether he wanted to accompany her and Faith Newman to Europe. Sharon wants to reunite with Nick, but does he want the same thing? Chelsea Lawson's passion after her relationship with Adam Newman ended. It appears that she may become intimate with him. Chelsea wanted to take it easy at first, but things have clearly progressed. Now that they've reconciled, it appears that things are going well for both them and Connor Newman. However, soap romances are usually fraught with obstacles and roadblocks. So, what comes next for Chatham? Can they overcome any challenges? There may also be an update on the inquiry into who kidnapped Sharon and Phyllis. Alan could be undertaking serious damage control to avoid getting busted. So stay tuned for all of the soapy drama. The Young and the Restless Wednesday, March 19th recap. Kyle's clinic clue for Traci Summers upsetting Phyllis news. Kyle Abbott will have a clinic hint for Traci Abbott on Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless, while Summer Newman gives frightening Phyllis Summers news across town. At Crimson Lights, Nick Newman will decline Sharon Newman's request to join her in Europe with Noah and Faith Newman. After Nick urges Sharon to spend some time alone with their children, he will press for honesty and basically question whether she ever considers being a pair again. Nick will concede that he understands Sharon better than anybody else, and he can occasionally tell when she wants anything more. Sharon will admit that she thinks about the good times and has considered a reunion, but she will deny fantasizing about it. When Sharon presses Nick to be honest, he admits he has considered the prospect of them reconciling. However, Nick will acknowledge the anguish of the past and worry that he will simply screw things up. After Nick admits that he likes the way things are today, he promises Sharon that he would always be there for her. Sharon will still wonder whether there is anything she can do to persuade Nick to reconsider the Europe trip, so he will agree to think about it more. Summer will soon arrive with some unsettling updates, as Phyllis has been acting scattered and unstable since her kidnapping incident. Nick will run off to make sure Phyllis is okay, leaving Sharon unhappy. Traci will tell Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott about her Paris wedding plans and request the use of the Jabot plane to look at wedding venues with Alan Lauren alias Martin Lauren at the GCAC. Although Jack will be concerned about how quickly everything is happening, Traci will be assured that she wants to marry Alan and will make predictions about their bright future. Traci will insist that Alan has never pretended to be anyone else and has always been completely himself. Kyle will soon join the chat, and he will inform everyone that Phyllis and Sharon were discovered safe. When Kyle learns about Alan's bizarre phone alerts concerning a security clinic breach, he will assume it's an odd coincidence. Kyle will tell that Sharon and Phyllis were detained at a clinic, unknowingly providing a kidnapping clue. Unfortunately, Traci will not realize it either, and she will be concerned that the kidnappers may be targeting Alan if these messages are related to the captive drama. Jack will eventually dismiss Traci's concerns because he wants her to enjoy the happiness she has discovered. Traci's life will become even more bizarre when Alan calls to tell her that he is boarding a solo commercial aircraft to Paris and would want her to join him in a few days. Traci will discuss a great surprise that Alan is planning, thus YNR spoilers indicate he may be building a trap for her. Lawson will surprise Adam Newman with a special dinner at home to repay the favor, as he recently made one for her. After Adam and Chelsea discuss living in the moment and allowing themselves to be messy, they'll fall asleep together and create some wonderful memories. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Chelsea and Adam will continue to take things slowly for the time being, so stay tuned to see how long this happiness will endure. Young and the Restless spoilers, for shocking plot twists set to unravel this spring. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that viewers can always expect the unexpected in Genoa City. The drama in the small town is currently at an all-time high. Nevertheless, there is always the possibility that some significant plot twists will occur, further shaking things up. What may happen? It's time to speculate. Alan is not Martin, but actually Alan undercover mental health issues when fans discovered that Alan Lawson was responsible for the kidnapping of Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman. They concluded that Alan was actually his wicked twin brother, Martin Lawson, who enjoyed acting like his brother. Audiences have long assumed Alan was the one who died as a result of the twins' struggle and fall from a balcony in Paris last year, which killed Martin. Many people suspected that Martin had switched places with Alan at that time and adopted his identity. That may be true, but what if it is not? Perhaps Alan's peculiar behavior stems from a mental health problem as a result of all that has transpired in his life, including his brother's death? Maybe Alan isn't Martin, but rather Alan, dealing with a mental illness? While Philly reunites, Sally and Daniel hook up. Phyllis and Billy Abbott are growing closer, and because he was one of the heroes who rescued her, this will only strengthen their bond even more. As she and Billy prepare for a romantic reunion, Sally's Spectra will suddenly find herself single again. However, guess who else in Genoa City is single? Daniel Romalotti is still grieving the loss of his partner, Heather Stevens, but that doesn't mean he can't decide it's time to move on. How furious would Phyllis be if she discovered that by stealing Billy from Sally, she was allowing the redhead to have a romantic relationship with her son? Jordan is alive. Fans know Ian Ward is still alive and well, just waiting for the evil to strike again. It would be a startling story twist if Jordan struck and returned before Ian. May Sweeps is just around the corner, so everything is possible. What unexpected narrative twist do you want to see? YNR spoilers, Michelle Stafford's cryptic message, is Phyllis leaving GC? According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Michelle Stafford's cryptic message "that's a wrap" has fans wondering if Phyllis Summers is departing Genoa City. After everything Phyllis and Sharon Newman have been through, no one can blame her for taking a well-deserved vacation. Alan Lawson has had Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summer locked up. Phyllis and Sharon have no idea who is detaining them. However, Nick Newman broke down the door to the room where the ladies were being held and escorted them out. Of course, Billy Abbott and Chancellor contributed. The torture is finally over. The audience learned that Alan was behind it. However, fans are asking if Alan is actually Martin Lawson. Could Martin still be alive and behind the kidnapping? Martin has taken over Alan's life again, and Alan may have died when they went out the window in Paris. Is Phyllis Summers leaving? Michelle was referring to that specific narrative. Phyllis is not going away. Phyllis is clearly traumatized by this turn of events, but she refuses to allow this insane individual drive her out of town. Phyllis is determined to find out who was responsible for this and why they targeted her and Sharon. What have they done to deserve this? Fans can't deny that it was good to see Phyllis and Sharon working together instead of arguing. There was no argument about Nick this time. Sharon and Phyllis cared enough to save one another's lives rather than attempting to kill each other this time. How long will the peace between Sharon and Phyllis last? Fans undoubtedly had their share of opinions on this storyline. Great scenes, but glad it's ended and everything is well. I feel so awful for Traci because she never has a happy ending, but I'm pleased she'll finally have a decent plot as well. It's so much fun to witness what happens behind the scenes. Can't wait until Monday. And Alan isn't Alan. Never was, right? While I wasn't a fan of the storyline, the fact that the antagonist was a doctor was brilliant television. I genuinely gasped, and I've been watching YNR for more than 30 years. It may be finished for you, but it is only beginning for Traci. Traci, can't they give her a boyfriend please? But it's cool to see what you do behind the scenes. I adore you more than anything else, you are my favorite. Oh man! I adore how this tale played out for you and Sharon. Crazy! I never thought anything could bring the two of you together. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. The story is not over. It might signal a new beginning. Of something new, unusual, and powerful. Were you worried that Phyllis would leave town? Would you like to see the girls maintain their newfound friendship? Where does the tale go from here? Shocking news, steamy invitation, and sparks fly. The Young and the Restless spoilers claim that Traci Abbott will receive terrible news from Alan Loran. Of course, viewers know that Alan is not really Alan, but rather his evil twin brother Martin Loran, or so it appears, given that he is responsible for the kidnapping of Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman. What surprising news has Alan delivered to Traci? Is he suddenly leaving town? Whatever the news, Jack and Diane Abbott will be by Traci's side to provide their support. Will he break up with her unexpectedly? Fans will need to tune in to find out. Nick Newman's steamy invitation across town. Nick Newman will receive an invitation. Will it be a sizzling one? Sharon may invite him to discuss their future plans, so will Chic fans finally get the romantic reunion they've been waiting for? Hashtag fingers crossed, sparks fly for Chatham. Speaking of romantic reunions, the Young and the Restless spoilers hint to flames from another star pair as well. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson appear to be going to bed during the show, so fans of the couple should watch. It's worth noting that this is the final episode of the week, as the soap will be preempted on Thursday, March 20th and Friday, March 21st owing to the NCAA college basketball tournament, March Madness. The show will return to its regularly scheduled programming on Monday, March 24th. The truth about Young and Restless Alan may be stranger than you ever thought. It's difficult to surprise Young and Restless fans, but the enigma behind Alan's insane behavior has certainly left us with more questions than answers. What's the truth? Let's just say it could be more absurd than you've been thinking. We suspected Alan was his presumed dead twin, Martin, and we felt vindicated when it was revealed that he was the monster who kidnapped Sharon and Phyllis and imprisoned them in an abandoned mental ward. What a surprise to learn that Traci's new fiancé was the freak who was experimenting on the locked-up girls as if they were lab rats. This had to be Martin. But what if the truth is even more surprising than Martin having survived the fall from the balcony and assumed his brother's identity? What if Alan is the one who did this horrible crime? It seems impossible, but we didn't know him very well. Alan could have been as nasty as his twin all along and no one knew it. What a mind-boggling discovery that this man could so easily integrate himself into the Abbotts' lives and act as a reasonable, renowned psychologist without anyone knowing. Alan, on the other hand, may not have always been a horrible person. The doctor was criticized for his role in his twins' terrible deaths, but it's possible that he snapped after the fall. Alan may have taken on his late brother's negative tendencies either due to psychosis or adopting an alternate personality similar to Ashley. Whether Alan is Alan or Martin, this plot has kept us all guessing and speculating, and the truth could turn out to be yet another weird twist in the tale. Do you believe Alan is Alan or Martin? On the anniversary of her Young and Restless debut, Camryn Grimes shares her surprise. I don't think anyone could have predicted this. On March 19, 1997, viewers of the CBS serial were swept away by a 6-year-old newbie whose future seemed as bright as her eyes. We realize this will be difficult, but will you try? It's difficult to believe that it's been more than a quarter of a century since Camryn Grimes, a freckle-faced rookie, joined the Young and the Restless ensemble. I don't think anyone could have predicted when I was a kid that I'd still be here, years later, playing a completely different character, the actress tells Soaps.com. Maybe soap aficionados could have, but I certainly didn't. Fans were drawn to Grimes, who had been chosen as Sharon Newman's long-lost daughter, Cassie, for more than simply her intrinsic cuteness. The 6-year-old was also friggin' good. Just over 3 years later, at the age of 10, the burgeoning star became the youngest ever to win the Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Younger Actress. I've had other jobs, but obviously, none of them were as impactful as this, she states. Pretty much every lesson I ever learned in life came from being on Young and Restless. The audience expected to see her grow up on film in the same manner that they did with Melody Thomas Scott as Nikki or Heather Tom as Victoria. The audience was completely wrong. Grimes died in 2005 as Cassie. We were as devastated as Sharon and the young girl's stepfather, Nick. As gutted as Grimes. It was a very terrible day. I'm like, I just want to go home. However, the actress's tenure in Genoa City did not stop there. How could this happen, right? Grimes reappeared as Cassie's spirit on occasion over the years. In 2014, she was reintroduced to the canvas as Cassie lookalike Mariah Copeland, who happened to be the deceased's twin. Now, Grimes and her new character are as important to the young and the restless as narrative twists and sharp turns. Will Victor use this trick on Jack? Diane and Phyllis, beware! Victor has performed numerous wicked tricks on Jack in the past. But there was one so bad that we can't believe he got away with it. And, given the circumstances, he will not try it again. Lookalike the worst thing Victor ever done was kidnap Jack and replace him with a guy named Marco, who happened to look just like Jack. Which is why Phyllis continued to sleep with him. And how he was able to effectively hand over the majority of Jabot to his archenemy while convincing his board and family that it was for the best. After learning the truth, Phyllis became so distraught that she cheated on Jack with Billy. This ultimately ended their marriage. Victor was happy to discover this unexpected benefit. Let's do it again, so why not play the greatest hits again? After all, Jack committed the most heinous offense of all. He was there for Nikki while Victor was unaware. Such a nice deed should never go unpunished. Is it time to make another switch? Phyllis and Sharon have just been released, thus there is room in the hostage room set. Victor can store Jack there. And he can put the fake on Diane. And on Kyle. Faux Jack can persuade Kyle to split up with Claire and hand over the company to Victor. Meanwhile, he will have him abuse Diane so severely that she flees. Then he'll bring back the real Jack. What do you mean by sounds like a crime? Yes, when others do it, but it's Victor. He has a preemptive pardon. For everything. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.